What's your span?
Around 4 3/8. It's either 4 1/4 and 4 3/8 or 4
When you go a quarter forward, it mandates a loose swing. Because
Well, it keeps me from gripping.
yeah, if you have any grip pressure at all, that ball's going vertical with a quarter forward. A couple things I'm going to look at here is your timing, and then your upper torso, your lower torso. See if you get proper leverage. Whoops.
Another thing I've been working on is keeping my hand inside the ball a little more, but I wasn't really thinking about that for these ones.
All right, let me check something here. I don't know if you're early. Let me slow it down. Your tilt is really good. I'll show you what I mean here in a second, but I want to check your timing real quick. Just a shade early. What's the effect of that early timing? Just a little bit of leverage at the bottom. Right now you got a little bit of weak. Well, that one there wasn't. A little bit. Just a shade early creates more roller timing. Little less leverage at the bottom. Would it like to see you have a little bit more leverage? I think you could use a little bit more leverage. And here's where I see it. Watch your transition with your left slide foot. As that's starting to make motion forward toward the line, before it's even really picked off the approach, you've got downward motion with your ball already. Not a lot, but enough. Enough to affect a little bit of leverage. And the other effect, you can really see it, is you've still got a little bit of movement once it's off your hand. Just a little bit, not much. You're probably 2 inches, inch and a half from being where I'd like to see you. Just because if you have that little bit of later timing at the bottom, that leverage timing, you've got more opportunity to do with it what you want with your hand. You can cock it, you can hit the back of it, you can soften it. But if that ball gets ahead of you just a little bit too quick, it pretty much dictates where your hand's going to go. Okay? Where could we fix that? Right back here. You get a little bit early right there. And it's by your hip. Most guys, when they get by your hip, it's sitting over their head. Okay? Your swing is very rounded. If I measure this swing, it gets very, very rounded. There's no steepness. Bowlers that have a lot of steepness and then it starts rounding, very inconsistent swings. Yours is very rounded. So what I'd like to do, and I think it's a pretty easy fix for you, is when we get you back here, instead of unhinging it right away, let's just bump it about 2 inches out and then unhinge it, so we can get your feet a little bit better underneath you. Okay. Close, pretty close. Yeah, there's right there. There's a little bit of tilt, but it seems like it's 50 degrees. That's getting a little bit. 60. So we can go back. As you're loading up at the top, you're getting a little forward. You can see how this is getting a little bit ahead of you. Your head's just a little bit ahead, but he's getting too forward on you. Probably take 10 degrees out of that, you'd be in pretty good shape. And for you, it's just training yourself to get more weight on your back heels. You get a little too much forward here, and it's easy to go forward. Then you get in pretty good position. So you're here, and then when you get to the release point, you come back. So we just want to eliminate that motion. If you were at 50, 60, and you stayed at 60 at the release point, get away with that. Would like to see it back a little bit further? Sure. So now you go from 50, 60 to 42. So you go 18 degrees variance there from about your power step to your release point. And I think if we get you a little bit later too, it's just because your feet will be underneath you a little bit better instead of the ball being, even that 2 inches doesn't seem like a lot. You get that mass that's controlling your footwork, it's going to pull you down. Let's show you some different. You ever heard of this guy? Daddy, you ever heard of that guy? David Ozio? No?
I started watching some pro stuff last couple of years.
Not only a great instructor, but physically a really, really could be the best physical player of all time. Watch his tilt, his upper torso, and watch his timing. See, he just gets it out there about 2 inches, then he unfolds it. There's his first step. Your first step, you're a little forward, but he's really locked up here with his upper body. And now everything comes forward. He's about 45, 46 degrees up here. You're there at the bottom. We just got to take all that motion out from the start to that spot. Good knee flex here, like that. I'll show you somebody that's a little bit earlier, but his swing gets higher, so he gets away with it, which is more modern day. Dave is more traditional.
Yeah. My game's actually close to his. Not close to his, but.
This guy here?
Yeah.
I started working with this kid when he was 12 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, he's from Erie, huh?
He's my brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah?
His issue right now is he's too focused on the physical and less on the mental. And his skills are so good that if he feels something or if he feels like it's not coming off, it's too much trying to be too perfect, and it doesn't equate into, there's a lot of, right now Wes Malot's got some skills that I wouldn't teach, but they're working pretty good right now. But here he's a little more on a plane than you, but he gets ahead of you because his swing gets high. But he's pretty solid here. And he's done there. See how much, see his leverage there? Now for him, it's just the opposite. He gets so much angle off the break at times. We actually had to teach him over Christmas to get more like you, more roller timing. We had to actually get his swing earlier, so he would round that motion off the back instead of that angular motion. So but timing's just a tool. You want to have both, and you got to be able to trigger both.
Okay. So did he, when he was doing the Chameleon Championship, he was playing really straight. Was he still using that timing, or?
Swing got a little short, a little earlier. I would say he was probably more down here by his ankle.
Okay.
Because with leverage timing, it's really difficult to keep your hips square at the line. And if you saw him on TV, it was pretty much impossible where he was trying to play unless you had your lines were square up the lane and you didn't touch it at the bottom. Yeah. You notice every time he got a little whippy at the bottom with his hand, he got a little too strong, it went offline. As soon as he got that hand soft again, he pushed it through the front and it read the back. So that's where we want to get you. Let's take a look at your back. Whoops. Here I'm going to look at your footwork and then your swing direction. Push away is going a little bit right. We'll slow that down so you can look at it. And because it's going a little bit right, it bumps behind your head a little bit, your back. That's a really easy fix. It's all push away direction. And the key there, Chris, is the great players have very little movement horizontally side to side. And the end result is it's a repetitive swing. It doesn't change directions very often. This is a really easy fix.
The first one I hit my target. The second one I pulled it out.
This is really strong. See how you tightrope that? Get that hip out of the way. It's clearing the hip. Now you've got to take that ball and you got to push it right over that toe. Because you're pushing a little bit to the right. When you do that, you get misdirection in your swing. So it gets inside the line, and then you do a really nice job of trying to get it back on that same line or dropping to the inside. This is pretty good here. We can make your swing even better, just with a better push away. And we get your hand in better position too, but that's pretty good. Better push away, stays right on that same line, never moves the line. And your swing never changes direction. Same every single shot. That's the key. That's pretty good there. Lines are real good. Launch angle and your body angles are fairly good. Parallel. That's excellent. I'll show you a couple of guys here. I'll show you Barnes too. So Mike pushes straight out. Let me back you up here.
Yeah. Right in my other shoulder there. Moving inside it.
Watch it straight down. See how straight that is? Now he's got a modern day swing where his will actually bump to the right a little bit, and then he loads up with it at the top of his swing. Watch him bump, and watch him load up and drop it to the inside of the line. Okay, that's pretty common today.
No, that I pull it much more often than I push it. Would that help me keep from doing that?
What do you mean pull it?
Like I tend to miss my target inside more than I miss it outside. And I know
Swing's got to realign itself, and your hand gets to the side. Absolutely. And you're a little bit early too. Earlier timing promotes left to target for right-handers. Let's see Chris once. Well, that's the side. We don't want that. It's just his release, but watch his swing. Real tight to the side. See how tight that is?
yeah.
Come straight down inside. So push away direction. You'll be able to see it from the front when I show you the front. Now you clear your hip really well. This is pretty good too. You've done a nice job here. This is not bowling style. You're almost coiling everything up to release that energy. That's good. It's pretty quiet. It doesn't get too noisy. Your non-bowling arm. Your issue right there is just your push away direction. If we set you up here, just bump just a little bit outside that line. Your ball side foot for your push away, you do really nice. I mean, that's perfect there. It's about 15, 20 degree angle. Footwork is excellent. Some good skills, young man. Good skills. We can get you a lot better pretty quickly. Working your timing, push away direction. We're going to change, give you just a little bit more length in your push to try to get those feet underneath you. And then push away direction, we'll try to take some of that motion out too. We'll see what that looks like at the end. Get this fired back up. Top one will be the pre-shot, bottom of the post-shot. This one here, we worked on your footwork. You're trying to, definitely shorter. That's a lot better. Watch this. See how quick that is? Just make sure that we talked. When you get it here, you let it go. Because subconsciously, it's going to try to get you to the same spot, which for you, it's going to be acceleration.
Okay.
You're stopped about right there. You're stopped. That was pretty close. A little later, we can get it better. Your key, this one was, this is where it really affected what we're trying to do is right there as you start pulling on it, right there. That's where when you unhinge it, just let it go.
Okay.
Just walk right by it. Creates two things. For you, it's going to create better timing. Better's the wrong word. Different timing. And the other thing I want you to remember too is you've got more roller timing right now. When you develop leverage timing, if you ever get too much angle, then you need to get it quicker into your swing so you get more roller timing. That's going to give you more rounded motion at the back. Those are tools. There's no right or wrong, just a tool. That's going to give you leverage timing. Make sure even when you get into motion, don't ever accelerate, just let it go, okay? That's where the free swing comes in. The second shot, we worked on your shoulders. I'm going to back you up here. Well, let's take a look. About 8 degrees. It's good. It's good. 3 more and you're there. 3 more is nothing. Drills. Keep doing those drills so you can really feel it. 8 degrees is a lot. I mean, you just took a lot of that play, that motion out of your game. Now let's take a look at the backside. See that? That is really good. Felt exaggerated. Just look at the difference. Watch how straight this gets. That, my boy, that's pro quality there. That ball never leaves the line. You want to see this one? Huge difference. Look at that. That is, every shot's the same. Now you just worry about, all right, this is the alignment I want, ball choice I want, I'm going to go play. And then you've got to decide, do I play parallel? Because you always want your exit point, your break point to be the same. You got to decide, where do you want to attack it at? On it, midline, or do you want to open it up to get to it? And that basically dictates carry, wherever you get better carry. But that right there is really, really repetitive. You can't get any better. It never moved. It's as good as it gets. Nice job. See what the front looks like. That's what I said. A game like yours, I could have fun with that game. His game, I could have a lot of fun with. Because stuff like that, when I see growth like that in an hour time period, yeah, it's very impressive, and it's pretty fun to watch. I'm just the GPS. You go here, but you got to do it. Let's get rid of that line. That's right on it. Just look how straight that is at the bottom. Look at the gap here. Huge. Even your hands, look at your hands. It's better your hand is in position. This one here is just, you're so open here that the ball's dictating your hand, and that's why it tucks behind your back too. This one here is right behind your head. Excellent. Let's do the one step. I would do the one step for a couple of reasons. One, change your ball roll up, your axis tilt. It's a great drill to change hand positions, different tilts. 2, shoulders, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Build right back if you need it, if you can't do it through the walking drill. Okay? Show you 2-step quick. For you, a 2-step, you can do it in your starting stance. I just do this for guys that have really issues with loose swings, free swings. You got a beautiful free swing. Same thing, get in your starting stance here. Again, this is for guys that have issues with the timing of a 3-step. Just focus on the motionless shoulders, the upper torso being stable. And then your 4-step, getting a normal starting stance again, set up. And then your 5-step. Mock drill I would do for you, just your shoulders, push away direction, and then even your footwork, trying to shorten that up, which you did. But your issue again is that as soon as that push away is completed, letting it go. When I do mock drills, I do ratios of 2 to 1, 2 mocks to every real shot. Push away drill in a mirror, side and to the front. For you, I would work on your footwork here more than the push. Just make sure you're facing it so you can see the push away direction. Setup, I want you to experiment with this a little bit. I moved you back here to try to get your, basically try to get your feet underneath you a little quicker. Completely up to you. Some guys it works real well for. Mike likes it in front of him. That way he can just unhinge it. He doesn't have to worry about distance. You decide. I think you're probably gonna go back to what you did before. But you experiment with it. You'll be able to find out immediately what the feel, if it works well for you, if it doesn't. And then the front too. Let's look at the front. Just make sure that doesn't migrate too far to the inside. So when we first started, you had some shots that were too far in the middle. Okay. And then we go to a walking drill. This is for your shoulders. We're trying to maintain that 45 to 50 degree shoulder tilt, upper torso tilt. That's it. That's great.